Hello, welcome to Wobbly's Verdict. Obviously, without an Ashes Test match this week, thoughts have turned to county cricket. The final round of the T20 competition has been played tonight, and over the weekend, the Royal London One Day Cup starts. So what I thought we'd do is just take a look back at Essex's season so far in the County Championship and the T20 Blast, and have a look forward to the One Day competition. We'll look at some of the stats that have meant that Essex haven't quite reached the heights that they would have wanted to in first-class cricket, and perhaps some of the reasons for that. And we'll also do a little preview of the One Day Cup in the rest of Wobbly's Verdict. So yes, as I mentioned, a mixed season for Essex so far then. Obviously last year in the County Championship, they missed out on promotion to Division 1 by just a few points, finishing in third position. So hopes were high at the start of the season that they could have gone one better this season. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened, and with defeat at Kent this week by an innings inside 3 days, that has really ruined any prospect Essex do have of going up. Just a few stats for you. Essex have only scored 8 championship centuries in 11 first-class games this year. Contrast that with Lancashire, who have scored 14. If you go down to the bowling, only 3 bowlers for Essex have taken over 30 championship wickets, and there have only been 2 5-wicket hauls. So those stats just give you a flavour of an okay season in first-class cricket, but not a season that is really going to dominate a league and ensure that Essex were ever going to be in the promotion spots. So hundreds, 5-wicket hauls in Division 2 especially, those performances sort of are the difference usually between sides who are in that division. Essex haven't had enough hundreds, haven't had enough 5-wicket hauls that have won them games in the first-class division. So first-class games. So why is that? At the start of the season, they were struck by injuries. Some important players missed some key games. Tom Wesley was injured, who has been in Essex's best batsman this season. Jesse Ryder, a very important part of Essex's side with bat and ball, was also injured. Ravi Bopara and Ryan Tenduskarta were both at the IPL, so joined late. So Essex actually only won 1 of their first 5 games. They didn't recover, or haven't recovered, from that start. There have been positives. There have been excellent performances from Wesley, as I said, who's averaging over 50 with the bat. Jamie Porter, who's a 22-year-old bowler, has opened the bowling for Essex in all first-class games and is one of those bowlers to take over 30 wickets. And not forgetting the 160-odd of Dan Lawrence, 17-year-old Dan Lawrence, against Surrey earlier on in the season. He became the 3rd youngest championship centurion in the history of the championship. So Essex, there are positives there. There are reasons to be hopeful for the future, but they'll be disappointed at their lack of consistency in the first-class game. So you know, really all hopes are now on the One Day side of things for them to get any silverware or any honours. They have tonight just been confirmed as going through to the quarter-finals. Gloucestershire beat Glamorgan in a rain-reduced 2020 game tonight. So Essex are through, and they play Birmingham Bears at Edgbaston in the quarter-finals. That's going to be a very, very difficult game against an excellent T20 outfit there in Birmingham. But Essex are a good one-day side. Traditionally, over the last few years, they have been a good one-day and 2020 side. So they'll be very confident that they've got a good chance of winning that. As I said, the Royal London One Day Cup starts on Sunday, and that's the 50-over competition. Essex start with a game in Kent, and they'll play 7 other group games. So it's now there's a period of one-day cricket, a month roughly, where they're playing almost continuous one-day cricket, and that should help Essex both in the 2020 competition and in the one-day format. The one-day competition, they can really concentrate on that. I think Essex supporters will be disappointed with their showing in first-class cricket, and disappointed recently about the lack of success that the team have had. Probably not as much success as they should have had with the talent that's available. If you think they've got Alistair Cook, Jesse Ryder, Tenduskarta, Bopara, Foster, you know, these players, international players, and Essex have got a decent first 11 when everyone's fit and available. And I think they should have done in the last few years a little bit better than they have done. So they really do need to show some form in these one-day competitions if they're to regard the 2015 season as a success. So it's just a brief look back at Essex's season so far. Obviously, it's still all to play for in the one-day competitions, and they still do have an excellent chance of perhaps picking up some silverware. But they will have to play a lot of good cricket between now and the end of the season to do that. Obviously, the third test match in the Ashes starts next Thursday. Edgbaston and Wobbly's Ashes verdict will be back for that every evening after the day's played to have a look back at the goings on in the test match. But for now, have a good weekend. Enjoy the one-day cup that starts tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.